So, I'm up here on this mountain on the 15th of October, day of the worldwide protests against corruption and all that jazz. And all these families and people with kids and flying their kites are probably gonna think I'm crazy in a second, because I'm gonna say hello to the trees. Woo! Yeah! Carpe diem! So, yeah, we'll carry on our conversation in a second with Polly, my dog, over there. So, I'm where I said I was going to be now, and I don't know, I have all these things to say and just don't know how to start saying them. I'm just gonna start rambling my head off because I need to get it out there. And it's getting to me. I feel like if I don't say anything, then, well, I'd be letting myself down. I feel like if you reach a certain level of self-development, you have an ethical mandate to share it with people. If you attain certain knowledge, then, you know, you have a kind of duty to apply it in the world. And wow, these worldwide protests really aren't surprising me at all, because I've just been researching this stuff for so long now, and I'm kind of surprised by how unsurprised I am. It's still difficult to actually do something. Actually, even just talking about it, it's usually more than I do. I usually just think about it and keep quiet and kind of go about my business and pretend the world is just the world I see through other people's eyes and the news and stories just isn't real, or is a different world. And actually it's happening right here too, right in this same place. So these demonstrations are against corruption, right? Against bankers, against all these rich, fat people, blah, blah, blah. You know, oh, they're so terrible, they're exploiting and abusing, and la-di-da-di-da. Actually, it's easy to say that. It's easy to point the finger and say that. But, what would you do if you were in a similar situation? You know, you're probably never gonna even get into a similar situation. So it's easy to judge others when you're never even close to being at the place they are. You know? And there's nothing actually ethical about just judging and doing nothing, and just feeling guilty about the way things are and not doing anything to stop it. That's actually just as evil as and just as wrong as doing it directly. You know, if you feel bad about something, then you should do something against it. Shit. It's so difficult to get out of your head and just get into the flow and be authentic. And I think that's actually the only real chance we have at actual change. You know, we had all this hype in 2008. We had all this hype with Obama, and yeah, we can, yes we can, blah blah blah. Let's change things. And really, it was just, what was it? It was just like, oh, vote for me, I'll fix everything. vote for me, guys, and you know, you'll have no problems. I'll deliver on all my promises, I promise. But what did he actually change? Nothing. You know, because that's not how it works. We're all part of this world, and it's not just one father figure who's going to do it all for you, even though that's comforting to kind of have a strong man there on the stage, you know, like, oh, I can take it all on my shoulders. No. I can't find my own words, so I'm going to borrow those of Charlie Chaplin in The Great Dictator when he makes that speech and he says, don't give yourselves to machine men with machine hearts and machine minds. Soldiers, fight for freedom! You know, and the true soldier doesn't fight against things outside of himself. He fights for what's in his heart. And it takes a big man to admit that he actually feels anything at all. And, you know, nowadays, to kind of have people pretending they're invincible and it's not manly to cry. And that's bullshit. If you feel something, it affects you, and it's okay to show it. You know, and if you don't show it, you're just slipping into anonymity and this veil of forgetfulness. You're letting, you know, time slip by and could be doing something. You know, it's people starving and dying every day, and we just waste our time with all this trivial bullshit. And why? There's no real reason. It's just kind of fear overcomes everyone. And you know what? Fear, it's awesome when you overcome your fears and you do something against it. That is one of the most wonderful feelings you can have. Because actually you're kind of walking down this slippery slope all the time when you're not standing up to it, when you're not freeing yourself of fear. And it's so subtle, and every day it gets worse and worse, and you don't even realize it. Like, maybe you're much happier 5 years ago. Maybe you weren't. Maybe you're going up instead of down. But, yeah, let me just think for a moment. Shit. It's great to be alive! Actually. Despite all the stuff that goes on, you know, it's actually pretty good to just feel the blood flowing through your veins and just kind of feel the wind in your hair, feel the sand in your feet or in your hand. Let me show you. Yes, this is Earth, people of the internet. This is Earth, and you should touch it sometime. Ground yourselves, you know. I know it's easy to sort of get trapped in cyber second parallel reality, but it's not healthy. You know, we're here and we're a part of it, and we need to feel that too. So, yes, I have to move my dog out of the way. The hardest thing to overcome is yourself. We're so distracted. We're so distracted because we don't have any clear goals or aims. And maybe I should just speak for myself. Maybe I should say I am so distracted. I feel like oh, I'm a dog at an amusement park, and I'm on one of those merry-go-rounds, you know, circular things, when I'm riding, and every couple of seconds there's a piece of food or a toy or some kind of noisy, loud, bright thing, and I forget what it was that I actually went on the ride for, but I'm still going around on it, and I'm getting kind of sick, you know, from the turbulence and from just going around in circles. And, The only answer I think we'll ever get is if we look at ourselves, and if we dare to be really honest, and that hurts, and it's hard to find out why you should even bother to be honest, because you know, when you start doing it, you can't see why. When you start trying to find answers, all that comes back is a sort of echo in this endless cave in your head, and it's just so confusing. So why bother with that when you have all this bright, colorful stuff on the outside, which makes you happy for a while, right? Because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you the reason why. And I've only experienced it in rare moments, but still I know it's real because, well, it's the most real thing I've ever felt. When you keep persisting and keep at this sort of inner pilgrimage, then after a while life becomes a joy which it never was before. You start just really living, and before you were only existing, you were only sort of treading the path of least resistance, you know, stepping stones to get to goals which you hadn't even set for yourself. Yeah, they have this saying in Islam which goes something like, the most important jihad is the one taking place within yourself, daily, you know. And I think it's so easy to judge and to generalize and actually not reflect, and that doesn't get us anywhere, you know. We have to stop sort of expecting so much from others and not giving anything of ourselves, and that's why I'm making this video. That's why I'm starting, because it's such bullshit what's going on. You know, we just have mobs flooding the streets. Oh yeah, change everything. Oh, Obama is a con man, and oh, we didn't buy into the lie in 2008. No way. We're if we did, we're changed. You know, we're different men now, or different women now. Actually, you're all just as gullible. I'm just as gullible. And if we don't start getting real, if we don't become authentic pretty fucking soon, we don't have a chance at change anymore, because the systems are gripping tighter, and it's all just going to be a massive failure, because the dollar and the euro are crashing, and you know what? It's not going to go back to the way it was. It's not going to go back to things like Deutschmarks or liras or pesetas or so on. It's they're going to try and make an even bigger system, and then it's going to be an even bigger failure, and millions of people are going to die. That's my prediction anyway. It's going to be like communism. It's going to totally fucking fail, and tragic loss of human life. Really. You know, we're supposed to be living in a republic or a democracy, and it's just not. No one voted for the euro, no one voted for the EU Parliament, and you have something like the Lisbon Treaty or Convention, you know, and which Ireland voted against, and then they just did it a second time. They just they just made them re-vote, and then they fucking pushed the propaganda all over the place. And if that isn't 1984, I don't know what is, you know. And you kind of, oh, I'm so sorry, police officer, I didn't mean to step on your toes, please don't bludgeon me for looking at stuff. I won't use my eyes again, you know. No! That is not how we're supposed to live. We're supposed to be free, and if we're not free, we're not human, you know. The word human is actually an ancient Indian Sanskrit word, as far as I know, and there's this great saying, man is the missing link between animals and humans. because the meaning of human is Hu, great spirit, and man, as in the thing we are, the mind, caught in this body. And I had a thought yesterday. I thought, actually, if infinity had a choice of what to squeeze itself into, it would probably think, yeah, that body looks pretty good. I'll have a play around with it. I'll see what I can do. As long as we're not serving the great spirit Hu, we're not human. We're just man. We're just mind. And if we don't allow ourselves to authentically feel and be, then we're just not really living. And so what I want to say is, have the courage to live. And I'm gonna, I'm gonna do it. I don't care what you say. If it's just abuse or ridicule, maybe that's good. Maybe it'll help me thicken my skin. But I so desperately, almost, want to find people who think in a similar way and see that there's just something terribly wrong, and that the world is not as we're being told it is, and we're all being manipulated by the news, and just systemic corruption takes place daily. It's not even big things. It's just like shopping and sex and trivia we're filled with. We're just being turned into little meatballs. So, well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope a bit of what I was saying you can see in my words and in my voice. I know I'm very sort of but I'm trying. I'm really trying now. And, well, make the best of it, guys. Make the best of it, everyone. As far as we know, this is the only chance we have at this life. This day is the beginning of the rest of your life. Make a note somewhere, if this meant something to you, that, you realized you've just kind of been letting the tide pull you this way and that, and not really in swimming through the very fast-flowing stream of existence. Oh, isn't that pretty? There's these things floating down right now. Whee! Yay! You know why it's so difficult for men to really show their feelings? Because they're ridiculed by other men, and if you find that childlike joy again, and you don't censor yourself, then what happens is you're considered not a man. You're not a man. Yeah. We have to find a way to just ignore that, and either be so powerful and so true to life that it doesn't matter, or just grow a massively thick skin. Yeah, so see you soon, everyone. Be well.
Hi everyone, I'm back at home after a day out, and yeah, I still wanted to say some things because I feel like a lot of stuff was left unsaid, so let me look at my crappy notes and get on with the show. Well, I guess the most important thing is, which I really want to talk about and emphasize, is that this can't just be a one-time demonstration and then just fizzle like so many others. It can't just, it has to be the start of something. It has to be the start of a commitment to work on ourselves and to not fall prey to the same corruption which the people we're rallying against have. And I think the point is we shouldn't be united against those we hate or against what we hate, but we should come together for compassion, and we should come together to achieve something we love and we would like to see. Because it's easier to hate than to love, and the results are always worse. So, if you want to destroy the world and if you want to make things worse, then take the easy option. But if you really want to change things and don't just want to talk, then try to actually love something and not give up on it. I guess that's a lot of talk, and the more you talk, the easier it is to be a hypocrite. So let me just look at my notes. I guess some important facts I left out and quotes and things were, the finance system we have now is the real problem. The Federal Reserve, which is a private bank masquerading as a national bank, creates currency for the government at interest. So basically, it creates $100 or whatever, and 100 million trillion, more like, and then it asks the government to pay back a tax just for printing it. So what happens is the whole economy is doomed to debt. That is why there is this debt all over the world to who? To no one really knows who, but all the countries are in debt to someone, and there's no way of getting out of it because the system is designed that way to make countries go bankrupt and to cause inflation and for the currency to be manipulatable. And Wall Street, you know what happens on Wall Street? What really happens? Gambling. Good speculation, market analysis for, when to trade what, but it's basically just wow. If you talk to traders, they don't have a very high opinion of themselves. They don't regard themselves as moral characters, They speculate on the value of currency, which doesn't even really exist. Currency. It was supposed to be represented by gold and silver and what's the word? Land. Yeah, difficult word to find, but anyway. And then somehow it just became paper, and there was an illusion of value, and everyone believes the illusion. So that's why we still have this system. But you know what? Henry Ford, I think it was, he said, it is well enough that the people do not understand the way currency works, because if they did, there would be a revolution before morning. And, now we can understand. We can all understand. It's much easier to get the word out through the internet. And this is no joke. I'm not some nut. This is pretty well documented. You can go look up what the Federal Reserve actually does and see how all the other banks operate. And you can also see that one of the major reasons, which is left unspoken, the government, which basically just stole the election, and the Bush administration, which smuggled its way into the White House somehow, invaded Iraq, was because Saddam wanted to change oil to the euro, and that would have upset a lot of things. But anyway, that's getting off the point. The point is today to do something with this energy that we now have through these protests and through everyone waking up. And I think we need to confront the evil within. We need to spot the corruption and not just point fingers. Yeah, that's more along the lines of what I wanted to say before. So, yes. Great quote by Martin Luther King. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Pretty self-explanatory. Put an end to injustice everywhere. You'll have justice everywhere. And that begins with yourself. Be true to yourself and be just to what you know you can be. Mete out justice, and amazing things can happen. I can feel it in my bones. And the other thing is, a lot of people are divided on all of these issues, and that is one of the tools the owners of the planet, or the elite, or whatever you want to call them, use. And Napoleon put it best: divide and conquer. You just divide people, and then you only have to fight half the battle. You confuse them, as Sun Tzu said, you get them to do useless things, and then they're an easier opponent. And actually, public is unaware that they're even at war, but they are all the time. Being manipulated, being fed this and that story and worldview, so that they'll be easier to control. Zbigniew Brzezinski said, who was the advisor to Obama and was to Jimmy Carter, said, "It is easier to kill 1 million people than it is to control them in this day and age." What the hell does that say about the people who are supposed to be our elected representatives? Who are these people? What kind of creep would say something like that? I mean, it's just horrible. But anyway, yeah. Let our compassion and love for one another form unbreakable magnetic bonds. Let us become so strong that we don't even need to do anything. We can just show our strength, and through peaceful protests we can avert crisis and violence. Let us live so that those who bury us will be sorry, that even those who don't know us will be sorry when our time comes. Yeah. The thing is, of course, everyone's going to die eventually, and this day and age will pass. But the question is, what do we want it to look like? Up until now, I haven't engaged in official politics at all. But it's when you're born, you start acting in a political sense. If you buy coffee, that's political because you're supporting the store, which is part of a system, which is it ripples in a pond, and it's all interconnected. So yes, let me just read you a poem, which I think illustrates the situation as it stands, and if we don't do anything, this is what we will think of ourselves, and this is what we will be saying to our children. Children of tomorrow, I apologize to you, on behalf of those in my time, for the things we didn't do. We didn't stop the tyrants, so your fate could be prevented. We watched them steal our freedom, by our silence we consented. We didn't choose to circumvent the doom you've not escaped, while the Bill of Rights was murdered and the Constitution raped. Some of us were lazy, others too afraid, to think about our children, the ones we have betrayed. I guess we were too busy to be concerned or care, to try to ease the burden of the chains we made you wear. We could have been good shepherds when the wolf got in the fold, but we watched the flame of freedom die instead and left you cold. I'm so sorry we were timid, my selfish generation. We left you but a remnant of a free and prosperous nation. I'm sorry for our actions, like cowards we behaved. We could have left you freedom, instead you are enslaved. Children of tomorrow, descendants of our lands, I'm sorry we allowed this. the fate you now withstand. You know, we can't joke around anymore. The time is running out, and these ruthless manipulators in the background, and Bilderbergers, and the people pulling the puppet strings. You know, Obama, Tony Blair, George Bush, they're just mouthpieces. Look at their advisors, look at the people they associate with, the nasty characters, people afraid of themselves. And to end this on a positive note, let me read you a poem which I think is just beautiful, and also can be our motto, you know, because who has mottos anymore? Do you know anyone? I mean, it's just, you know, whenever you read about things from the past, it's kind of like, well, that's a nice fairy tale, but it doesn't have to be. So, this is from the man from La Mancha. To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unfightable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, and to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know, if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest, and the world will be better for this, that one man, that you, that I, anyone who hears this and commits to it, that one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star. You know what to do. Do what you can.